The geopolitical landscape of the Middle East and South Asia has reached a critical inflection point as of today, March 25, 2026.
Following direct military exchanges between Iran and Israel, the entire region is currently experiencing a dangerous and highly volatile period of armed suspense. Reliable reports indicate the United States has officially paused a high-level plan to target Iranian power plants and critical energy infrastructure facilities.
The Trump administration is re-evaluating its maximum pressure strategy in favor of a temporary diplomatic opening to prevent a total collapse of energy markets.
Iran has activated its long-range air defense systems, including S-300 and indigenous Khordad-15 batteries, following detected drone activity near Isfahan and Natanz. The Royal Netherlands and U.S. Air Forces have increased enhanced air policing sorties, utilizing F-35A stealth fighters to monitor Iranian missile silos.
Pakistan's General Asim Munir has issued a statement emphasizing that Islamabad will maintain a neutral but ready posture regarding the ongoing regional conflict.
Thousands of heavy artillery units and BM-21 Grad rocket launchers remain positioned in firing arcs across the Levant and the Iranian plateau.
While a diplomatic pause is in effect, the military machinery for a full-scale escalation remains fully deployed and operational for immediate kinetic strikes. The escalation leading to the current standoff has unfolded with lightning speed over the last 25 days, transitioning from conventional skirmishes into a direct war.
On February 28, the United States and Israel launched a joint offensive, primarily focusing on neutralizing long-range missile sites and command centers across Iran. Between March 9 and 12, Iran responded by launching massive ballistic missile and drone swarms, activating sirens simultaneously across central Israel, the UAE, and Bahrain. Air defense systems, including the Iron Dome and Patriot batteries, intercepted hundreds of incoming projectiles over the strategic urban hubs of Dubai and Tel Aviv.
On March 21, President Donald Trump issued a 48-hour ultimatum, demanding Iran fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face total national grid obliteration. By March 22, Israel intensified its campaign, successfully targeting the Natanz enrichment facility and a major UAV production plant located in the city of Isfahan. Iran retaliated by striking Al Minhad Air Base in the UAE and Ali Al Salam Air Base in Kuwait with a series of precision ballistic missile strikes. Just hours before the ultimatum expired on March 23, President Trump announced a 5-day pause on strikes, citing productive conversations regarding oil and gas concessions.
Between March 24 and 25, Pakistan emerged as a mediator, with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif offering Islamabad as a neutral venue for high-level diplomatic talks.
As of March 25, oil prices have dropped 6%, yet Israeli strikes in Lebanon and Iranian-backed drone activity in Iraq continue completely unabated. The military landscape on March 25 is defined by a high-stakes chess match involving fifth-generation stealth technology and massed conventional artillery systems.
The F-35A Lightning II has emerged as the primary tool, conducting electronic intelligence missions to map the radar signatures of newly activated Iranian air defenses.
Stealth operations have forced Iranian commanders to move mobile surface-to-air missile systems frequently to avoid hard kills from Western precision-guided munitions.
Satellite imagery verified by Reuters shows hundreds of Grad launchers and Fajr 5 rockets being moved into hardened missile cities carved into the Zagros Mountains.
These Iranian rocket systems are currently aimed at regional energy hubs and critical desalination plants located within the neighboring Gulf states.
In the Northern Theater, towed artillery units utilize shoot-and-scoot tactics to evade counter-battery fire from automated, radar-linked systems along the Lebanese-Israeli border. The U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet maintains a carrier strike group presence outside the Strait of Hormuz, authorized to intercept any Iranian fast attack craft. Reports from CNN indicate that Iranian midget submarines have been detected moving toward the Gulf of Oman, raising serious concerns of a silent blockade. In Iraq and Syria, Iranian-aligned militias have increased the use of suicide drones to probe the reaction times of American CRAM defensive systems. Despite the diplomatic pause, tactical repositioning across all fronts suggests that both sides are preparing for a potential and catastrophic failure of high-level talks. As the final 48 hours of the reprieve approach, the international community remains in a state of high alert,
awaiting the fate of the Iranian state. The international community is currently split between frantic mediation and a rigid refusal to be drawn into a direct military confrontation with the Iranian regime. The global landscape reflects a world managing a conflict that has already claimed the lives of senior Iranian leadership, including the late Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. President Donald Trump has pivoted from his initial obliteration ultimatum to a 5-day extension, which is officially set to expire on March 27th. Washington is leveraging the threat of striking power plants to force a total resolution, demanding the removal of enriched uranium and halting Iran's missile program.
In a significant shift, Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif have positioned Islamabad as a central diplomatic bridge for potential high-level talks.
Pakistan has officially offered to host direct negotiations, despite facing internal pressure and shifting toward a stronger alignment with Saudi Arabia and the United States. In Brussels, EU leaders remain united in their refusal to enter the conflict, with Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez labeling the unilateral strikes as illegal.
The European naval mission, Aspardes, will not be extended to the Strait of Hormuz, as Europe refuses to provide military assets for the ongoing offensive. Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has condemned the dangerous cycle of retaliation, warning that targeting power plants would constitute a war crime against millions of civilians.
The US-Israeli campaign is a reckless step and a premeditated act of armed aggression against the Iranian state.
The current pause in strikes against energy infrastructure reveals a complex dual-track strategy, turning Iran's civilian power grid into a primary and high-stakes diplomatic lever. The 5-day deadline serves as a ticking clock designed to break the resolve of the Iranian leadership following the death of the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
The IDF will occupy southern Lebanon up to the Litani River, marking a major territorial seizure of nearly 10%.
This strategic move creates a permanent buffer zone to push Hezbollah's rocket capabilities beyond striking distance of northern Israel, fundamentally altering the borders of the Levant.
A new middle-power diplomatic bloc has emerged, featuring a strategic synergy between Pakistan, Turkey, and Egypt to manage the ongoing regional conflict and global energy stability.
Field Marshal Asim Munir is acting as the primary backchannel for President Trump, potentially elevating Islamabad from a regional player to a critical and influential global stabilizer.
Israel has successfully disabled 70% of the Iranian mobile missile arsenal, indicating a massive intelligence failure and the total erosion of the IRGC's regional strategic deterrence.
The myth of Iranian strategic depth is being dismantled by fifth-generation warfare, leaving their remaining missile inventory and energy grid vulnerable to immediate and total destruction.
Iran now faces a strategic checkmate scenario, which may force a humiliating and total acceptance of the United States' 15-point peace plan to ensure national survival. As the world watches the March 27th deadline, the future of the global order remains suspended in this fragile 5-day window of intense high-level diplomatic pressure. Should the March 27th deadline pass without a diplomatic breakthrough, the Pentagon has authorized a series of rapid, multi-axis stealth strike packages. Primary targets involve the centralized SCADA nodes and high-voltage transformer stations, designed to trigger a cascading failure of the entire Iranian national power grid. Simultaneously, tactical reconstruction plans are being drafted in Washington, focusing on a post-conflict stabilization effort led by a coalition of regional middle powers.
The focus would shift to restoring civilian energy and water services under a transitional governing council, aimed at preventing a total humanitarian catastrophe in the region. This phase requires the total demilitarization of Iranian-backed proxy groups, specifically moving Hezbollah and militia forces away from critical international trade corridors. The F-35A fleet remains the first-in asset, equipped with GBU-53B Stormbreaker munitions to neutralize mobile targets in all-weather conditions across the Zagros Mountains.
Any Iranian countermove against global oil shipping would be met with an immediate naval response from the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group.
While the diplomatic path remains open, the sheer scale of the military mobilization suggests that the geopolitical order of the Middle East is on the brink of a total reset.
Field Marshal Asim Munir's success in these final hours will determine if the world enters a period of reconstruction or a decade of prolonged kinetic warfare.
With 36 hours remaining, the machinery of war is poised, the diplomats are in position, and the global energy market holds its collective breath.